Hi there, I am back with the third video of the Clara Ballerina Doll tutorial series. If you're new, I have been making short tutorials for certain elements of this ballet doll because the instructions are very thorough. They come with tons of photos, step-by-step instructions, but some of the techniques will be new to most people. So first I made a video for the embroidered doll faces, very basic doll face embroidery. Then I made one for the button jointed movable arms. And now I'm going to teach you how to make the yarn wig for the doll. This is much easier than you probably think it is. So if you've been put off by doll making before because a certain pattern had a yarn hair, this will hopefully put an end to that. So I have made little buns for mine. I'll show you how to make a ponytail too if you'd prefer. I think that'd be cute for the little jazz dancer doll that I might make next. Okay, so I've made my purple doll. She has on her cute pink leotard and her button arms with the little hearts, her point shoes, and now I'm going to use this kind of cotton candy yarn for hair. I think I'll separate the strands like this once they're on her head so that they'll look like curly hair. But I think this yarn's pretty cute. Okay, so what you're going to need to do, you're going to create a weft of hair. We're actually going to do this part on the sewing machine. So you need I just have this 8x10 piece of cardboard. And you're just going to wrap the yarn around it. It takes some time, I will not lie. Make sure you're not pulling the yarn really tight so that your cardboard bends and folds, because then it will make your hair at the end, when your cardboard is bent, shorter than your hair before your cardboard got bent. So you're going to wrap this piece of cardboard until there are no gaps between strands of yarn at all. Okay, I'm done wrapping. This was all the yarn that I had, so hopefully it is enough. You can use, for these dolls, I just used regular soft worsted weight yarn. I think it's the brand I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. But this is a fun chunky yarn that I wanted to use up. So the thinner your yarn, the more you're going to need to wrap. Okay, so before you cut your yarn off your cardboard, you need 2 pieces of regular old 8.5 by 11 printer paper. And I'm going to fold these in half vertically so that I have a center line marked on them. There's one, and there's 2. Okay, so put one of those aside, open the other one out, and I'm going to cut my yarn off of the loops on one side only. So I'm keeping this side flat with my hand, cutting the loops of just this side. Okay, so the other side will be the center of the weft. So I'm going to place this on the fold of my paper, simply unfold it, and spread out my hair. So you want your yarn to almost cover your paper. You need a gap at the top and at the bottom, but there should be no holes, gaps in your yarn. So if you can see right through your yarn to your paper, this is easier if you're using a darker color yarn than your paper, then you need to wrap more hair and layer it on top until you can't see any gaps. Okay, so mine covers pretty well, thankfully. I think because I'm using this chunky yarn, I had just enough of it to do it. So center it. I'm just eyeballing. It's not rocket science. It looks pretty centered to me. So then you take your other piece of paper and layer it on top. I'm going to place a pin here and a pin here. I'm going to carefully move this over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch right down the center. I'm going to take you over there so you can see. I'm going to stitch down this marked fold center line. Okay, I have carefully brought my yarn over here to my sewing machine, and I'm going to lower my stitch length to stitch length of 2, so my stitches are a little bit shorter, just to make sure I catch all the yarn in there. I'm just going to sew I'm sewing right on my folded line, sort of keeping everything flat with my hands. All the way to the end. Okay, so now that I'm stitched, I can simply tear the paper away. And trim this thread. From both sides. Since I used really short stitches, I'm not in danger of my stitches coming out when I tear it. And this is your weft of hair. Oh look, I have a weird short piece right here. Okay, so it's all sewn together. See how easy that was so far? Okay, now it's time. You're going to hand stitch it onto the doll. So your pattern piece has a marked stitch line. This is my prototype. Yours looks better. A marked stitch line here, but you can also just sort of use your judgment. Let me find a pencil. I can never find a pencil when I need one. That's okay. I'm going to use my yellow marking tool. Okay, I'm going to just mark my hairline onto her face. Curve it down towards the nape of her neck, about 1/2 inch above where her neck is narrow. Maybe a 5/8 inch above where her neck is narrowest. Making sure I get it as symmetrical as I can. The placement of the hair can really make each doll look very unique. Okay, I forgot to say, you need to make sure you're using matching thread when you sew your yarn together because your thread will show if you use a contrasting color. We don't want that. Okay, so now I'm simply going to thread a needle also with matching thread. Then at the back of the head, I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to start stitching the hair on, keeping my line of stitching in my yarn on my drawn line on my doll's head. So I'm simply going to make sure I'm getting part of the doll, part of the purple fabric. I'm going to make very small stitches. Back stitches work well here, so I'm going back and exiting at the next stitch. And then I'm going to just make sure that my center yarn line is staying on my drawn line. Hold it there with my thumb while I stitch the next few stitches. And keep going until you have sewn all of the hair on. It really only takes a few minutes, I promise. If you need to, you can sort of stick a pin every now and then just so you're making sure you're holding the hair onto the hairline. It looks right now like her hair is going to be all in her face, but don't worry because you're going to fold the hair over on itself. So it's like double thickness. So you're sewing it on as a flat piece, but it's all going to go towards the back when you're done. This hair is for just one particular hairstyle, which is the ponytail or bun. But if you wanted to make pigtails, you would mark a center line down the back of the doll's head, starting where you want your hairline to start. And then you would sew one line of hair down the center. Then you would continue sewing wefts of hair horizontally until you had the hair that you wanted. So in the future, hopefully I'll be able to do more hair tutorials with different dolls. If anybody has a specific doll design in mind, designing dolls has become probably my favorite thing. Right alongside making Halloween costumes, and ballet costumes. So if you have ideas for me, I would definitely love to hear them so I can consider them. Placing her hair at the back. Okay, I'm back around to where I started. So I have extra hair. You're just going to snip your threads, your sewing machine sewn threads. And I had just maybe 1.5 inches extra. And then I will knot my thread. Okay, so her hair is finished. Now, if you were going to do a doll that you wanted to be able to style her hair into all kinds of styles, then you would, instead of going all the way around her head, you would also draw more lines along the back, maybe 1/2 inch apart, 5/8 apart, And then you would continue stitching wefts, so you would make more wefts onto her head like that. So then if you wanted to have bangs, you would just put part of these hairs forward and trim them into bangs. It would be so cute. And or you can just have all the hair going back like this. Okay, now I need to decide, do I want to separate my hair into curlies or do I just want to leave it like this? I think just leaving it like this is so cute. So I'm going to leave it for now. So to make the bun, an extra set of hands is helpful. I don't have an extra set of hands today. It can help to hang her upside down so you can get all the hair smoothed out, especially if you're using this worsted yarn. It's a little more fiddly to work with. So for my hair, I'm going to make her a ballet bun. I need an extra length of yarn. I don't really have an extra length of yarn, so I'm going to have to steal it from the Weft extras. Hopefully that's long enough. Okay, I'm going to make a tip-top ponytail, the top of her head. Tie a square knot. This is when another person can be useful. Okay, then I'm going to keep my extra yarn out. I'm going to sort of fold over a bun through the back. So you're not actually twisting anything into a bun. And then I'm going to tie it again back here, making sure I get every piece of yarn in it. See, I'm missing some. Okay, here's my tied piece. Tie into a bun. Bring it around to the back. And tie it again pretty tight. You can also just do this with a ponytail holder if you're going to give this to a child who wants to restyle her hair often, you know. That would be cute too. Okay, so here's her little bun. It's so cute. Now I can trim the back of her hair. Don't do it too short. Go kind of slowly, and you're trying to just sort of flatten out the back. So you're almost like giving her layers. So that it lays, nothing sticks straight out in the back. So then from the front, she looks like she has a perfect bun. Absolutely love this yarn hair. Okay, her hairdo is done. Now I think I need to make her a brightly colored leotard to go with her cute hair. Or maybe this leotard would match. Let me try that one on. There we go. That's so cute. Let's see, where's her tutu? There, she's adorable. I hope y'all are enjoying this series. Stay tuned. I'm hoping to make a tutu tutorial before I move next week. So we'll see. Sometimes we're without our belongings for several weeks. If you know, you know. If you're a military spouse, you know exactly what I mean. There's really no telling how long it could be before I have my sewing room back. So I will hopefully see you all soon on the other side of this move. Talk to you later. Bye.